鋼の錬金術師
Well, let's pick up there. It looks like Raven and General Armstrong are going to have a conversation. Bata shite ite moushiwake arimasen, Raven Shogun. Okay, so like all the commotion, there's no excuse for it. Like, sorry for all the commotion, General Raven. Chika kara teki no shugeki ga arimashite ne. So from below, or from the underground, an enemy's attack has happened. Nani? What? Nantoka... Gotta move in a little bit here. Nantoka gekitai shimashita kedo, kare ga kore ga iwayuru bakemono te yatsu deshite. Bakemono. So, the somehow, this is like repelling an attack. Geki tai. Yeah, to repulse. Make sure I put this under the right chapter. Yeah, somehow repulsed the enemy, but kore ga well, as for this thing, iwayuru bakemono te yatsu deshite. Iwayuru. I guess iwayuru means like, so to speak, the so-called. So this guy is a so-called monster. This thing, well, you know, this guy is like a so-called monster. It's kind of like a monster. Bakemono, a monster. Koroshite mo shinanai no desu yo. So even if you kill it over and over, it will not die, you know? Ho ho. Sore wa mata. We get a very intense look. Like, oh, well, as for that, like, again, or still, mata. Watashi wa, drachma no seibutsu heiki de wa nai ka tomotteiru no desu ka? So I don't think it's a living weapon from drachma. No, I do think. Okay, so as for me, a drachma living weapon dewa nai kato omo. Wait a minute. Okay, see, now here's a good example of where I'm confused. As for me, a drachma living weapon dewa nai ka. Oh, is it not? She's asking a question. That's why. As for me, is it not a living weapon from drachma? Is what I'm thinking. This gets me every time. Eririku Kyodai ga, the Elric brothers, Eririku Kyodai, oh, the Elric brothers, tamatama Hagane no Renkin Jutsushi to sono ototo o hogo shimashite. Hogo is to like protect. Yeah, safeguard. Protect. Okay, so, and tamatama. Tamatama. Oh. So, unexpectedly, that Z kanji, yeah, this is, I use Z kanji. I found it to be the easiest thing to use, where I can, like, if I need to, I can draw horribly here. I can draw horrible kanji and it will show without having to use like a web interface. And then I can save the yeah, so the problem I've got is I'm left-handed, but I use the mouse right-handed, so my kanji are particularly bad, because the mouse also, right, isn't like the most precise of drawing implements. So the kanji always look horrible. But I save the words that I look up to chapters. I haven't yet uploaded them, Um, but that is my intent, to upload those to, so that if people do want to like grab the vocabulary files, then you can download those and use those if you like. Your sensei said she preferred your Japanese. It was easier to read than your English. Well, hey, that's great. It just means you're too comfortable with English. You're like, meh. Japanese, you're trying. Maybe. Okay, so tamatama is like unexpectedly, or by chance. So just unexpectedly or by chance, the steel alchemist and that younger brother were protecting them, or safeguarding them. 謎の生物の襲撃があったのはその日の夜ですよ。Okay. The mysterious creature attack. The attack of the mysterious creature. As for when that happened, it was that day, or it was that evening of that day. Those things happened at the same time, I guess. 兄弟は何かしてる風なのですが、何も喋らない。Okay. As for the brothers, this is important. As for the brothers, something knowing. They know something, but 風なのですが、何もthey were saying nothing in a funano. Fu either means like style or manner. Or an appearance, a tendency, a folk song, a wind. Funano desu ka? Oh. I see. This is shiteru fu. So as for the brothers, something like appearance or the air of knowing something, that's what they're doing, but they weren't saying anything. They said nothing. Got it. All right. 大相当不調かつの国家錬金術師がドラクマのスパイかもしれないなんで大問題ですから老子つないでおきました。Okay, so at the super president's like bureau something, this is like some sort of office of the Fullmetal Alchemist, Drachma spy, probably whatever, a big question because Roni, oh, this is prison, right? Roni. I think that's the kanji for prison. Come on. Where's the cow? That's the kanji that I want. Let's just grab that. There we go. Yeah, ro. All right. Ro ni tsunaide. Is this tsunagu as in to be like connected? Yeah, this is to be connected. Did I learn kanji via radicals in context or individual flashcards? Honestly, I think it was nothing methodical. I used various books, like I used a series of books. What were they called? Kanji in Practice? I can't remember. It starts with like a red book, and then the second book is like a blue book, and then there's like an orange book, and it gives you a bunch of kanji, and then there's a bunch of exercises with them. But then like I've used various other programs that some use like radical methods, but I've never really done many. I also did flashcards. like White Rabbit. I used the White Rabbit flashcards for a while. The biggest problem that I had was um, without using the kanji or any of the words, they just weren't sticking. And so I kind of gave up on a lot of that and focused more on reading because this puts them in context and has helped a lot more. It's a little bit slower, I think, but um, it's helped me. But you might talk with there's a guy who hangs out here earlier. He's over in Belgium. He's his name's Coffee Drinker. Um, he's he focuses more on, like, I think, flashcards for kanji learning. Have you had any preference or any sort of like better success with anything? You mentioned it was your weak area. Uh, okay. Let's see. Fucho Katsu, that's what I need to look up. Fucho. Okay, Fucho is the prefectural office. And then Katsu here is gonna mean something else, obviously. I think this is going to be faster to draw. Here you will witness the miracle of my drawing. So we've got Kuruma on the left. And then we've got, this is like Guy, injury or harm. I don't even know what order to draw this in correctly. I don't think this is going to show up. There it is. You're good with Genki's early kanji. Lots of use there. Trying to get flashcards to learn in context. The compound words are getting more and more common. Yeah. I think that's kind of helps a lot when it's not just learning, oh, like this kanji, like for example, this one. Which, one of the nice things about Z kanji, right? It gives you a lot of information about the kanji here. Here you can see, right? This is an 8th grade. Like if you're in Japan, you'll learn this in the 8th grade. But from the JLPT perspective, this is an N1. So this is not a very common kanji. But here it's showing up as katsu, meaning control or wedge. How frequently am I going to see that? Probably not very frequently. Will I have to look it up again? Absolutely. N1 is for monster. Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. Like, you could probably read this enough to know, like, okay, the super president's prefectural office, and then go on, but or you just look it up and like, okay. Okay, so the super president's prefectural office, like, control of a state alchemist, and being a drachma spy or whatever, it's a big issue or big concern, and because of that, like, it's connected with jail. Which is kind of funny. So the other thing that I do is I use an English translation as well, just to double check when I'm really stuck. Get you through the Joya and call it a good, yeah, that's probably good. The English translation went with took them into custody. That this was a big concern. That's the daimondai. So because it was a big concern, took them into custody. So this is like being fastened to jail. Okay. Torishirabe nasaimasu ka? So this is to take and talk, which 20. No, shirabe is to take and research. So this is probably interrogate. Yes, investigate. Like, will you investigate or examine? She is asking him this. And nasai is a relatively polite way to state it. So da na. Like, it is that way. So, like, yes. Okay, they've got the room mic'd, apparently. 何も喋れないのか? So, they spoke of nothing? Nasai is an order, a command. That's right, yeah. It's a polite way to give a command. Usually, honestly, though, it's a way to give a command to, like, teachers to students or mothers to children. But she's saying it as a question, like, will you do this? And I would need to check whether it's a, I don't know whether you would call it an honorific. Yeah, it doesn't say that it is. It just says command. Okay, so, and like, they, like, did not speak, they spoke of nothing. Yep. 謎の生物兵器については、たんまりで。Or Don Mari. Oh, that's like, to be quiet. Silence, yeah. Like Damari, but with an N in there. Okay, so that's right. Like, as for about the mysterious living weapon, like, they're being quiet, being silent. Okay. ここに来た目的も生体連生の研究が同行と。Okay, so also the aim or the objective of coming here, coming to this place, 生体連生, living body transmogrification? Yeah, living body transmuting research, doko, which I guess is attitude. So she's saying this is what they've told her, that their trend or their attitude is about researching human living body transmogrification. That was their aim for coming here. なんとも歯切れが悪く怪しいことこの上ない。Okay. Ayashi is like suspicious. Non-tomo. Quite. Okay. Non-tomo is one of those words. It means very much if it's a positive sentence and not at all if it's a negative. So this is a positive sentence. So extremely hagire, teeth cutting. Feel when biting. Hagire, so this is an expression. Hagire yoi means crisp, staccato, piquant, or clear. And then hagire no warui, or ga warui, is inarticulate, evasive, slurring one's words. Okay, so that's what she's saying here. So it's very much a suspicious and evasive thing. And この上ない. Uenai. Hmm. Oh, kono uenai means the greatest. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what that means here. The most. The most suspicious thing, perhaps? Anyway. 国家に対する裏切りを画策しているかも知りませんので、拷問してでも吐かせようと思いましたが。Okay, so opposing the state and like treason, kakusaku. Scheming. Okay. かもしれませんので. So probably scheming like treason or opposing the state, but Goemon, even if do Goemon, even if torture, even if torture, I think like they wouldn't spit it up. They wouldn't say anything. ほら、私も女の端くれですので, and hey, I also like to the limits of a woman. I am a woman. これですので、あんな子供をいたぶるのは心が痛んでどうにも踏み切れなくて。Okay. That's sort of a child or children. Itaburu. Tormenting or harassing. So, as for tormenting or teasing those sorts of children, it pains the heart, and umikide. Like, I guess, unable to, or not able to make a start at it. Not able to take the plunge. Oh. Iune. Oh, this is Bacania saying this. Like, Iune. Like, saying, Shinzo made kori de dekiteru Joou-sama ga. Okay. Had I not looked it up here, Umikide. Oh, yeah. Beautiful sea. Also means command in that form. Yeah, yeah. That's the worst when you're like, how would I have distinguished that from the sound of that from some other meaning? We see that a number of times where it's like, that sounds like something completely different. Yeah, it's purely context. And then like the kanji. Like if I had just heard it, I'd be like, eh? Okay, so Buccaneer, when Armstrong makes this comment about like, oh, I'm, being a woman, I couldn't bring myself to hurting. It hurts my heart to think about hurting children. Buccaneer's like, wow, Shinzo made, like to the heart, it's ice. Joou-sama, a queen whose heart is made of ice. To the heart. A queen who's made of ice to the heart. And she's saying that, and they're all freaking out about that. So, and the title of this chapter was what? Like, Ice Queen? I think that was the title of this chapter. No, was it not? Was that the previous chapter? Oh, it was the previous chapter. Yuki no Jo'o. The Snow Queen. Okay. Never mind. Alright. Ga Nankofu Raku? Nankofu Raku na ブリッグズの矛壁と称される君も子供には甘いか? Okay. So he's laughing. Nanko furaku. Nanko furaku is impregnable. So the impregnable Briggs northern wall, the north wall of Briggs, impregnable, shosareru. What does... Oh, shosuru is to take the name of, or to feign. Kimi mo kono ni wa amai ka? Okay, so like even you who has taken the name of the northern wall of the impregnable northern wall of Briggs, like are sweet on children. You're easy on children. You're sweet on them. Ho 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 ho. Oh, they're having a laugh. 私も本来なら子供の一人や二人いてもおかしくない年なのですがね。Okay, so I also, if it's now, or as for like the present time, one or two children having would not be strange age it is. Okay, so as for me, I'm at the age where it wouldn't be strange for me to have one or two children. Sukkari iki okurete shimaimashite. Sukkari. Already, completely. And iki okurete is like to be late. Missed the chance. Oh, well, okay. Iki okureru means to be late getting married or to be late going somewhere. But notice there's also a meaning where the iki is this kanji, meaning to be married, and then it takes on the meaning of woman who missed a chance of getting married. I guess they both mean that. They can both mean that. But basically, I've already missed my chance of having children. Nani o iu? Kimi nara mada hiku te aruta daro ni. So like what are you saying? If it's you still, if it's you, or if, as for you, still hiki te amata. Hiku. You're probably still very popular or in great demand. Yeah. No. Mataku. Mataku has a lot of meanings. In this case, it's probably like, it's hard to believe. Toshi wa toritaku nai mono desu ne. As for age, it's a thing that do not want to take. What does Toshi o Toru mean? That's an expression. It's like to get older. Oh, this is the setup. This is the setup. Toshi Otoro does mean to get old. Basically, she's saying, like, I don't want to get old. Takunai. Tori takunai. It's a thing that, as for the years, it's something that I don't want to take. That's literally, but it's really kind of like saying age is, I don't want to age. This is the setup. 私は老い、老いが恐ろしい. So, as for me, like, aging is scary. I don't know that I normally see oi here. Or being an old person is scary. ドラクマの生物兵器 that drachma living weapon あれは素晴らしい体を持っていました。That drachma living weapon, as for that thing, a wonderful body it has. It's got a wonderful body. 不死の体 an undying body. 夢のようではありませんか? Like, as for like a dream, isn't it? Isn't it like a dream? 夢ではない日が近づいている? So as for it, the day of it not being a dream is approaching. と言ったらどうするね? If I said that, like, what would you do? Or how would you take it? How would you take it if I said that the day of it not being a dream is near or approaching? な、少々? Well, general. 完全な不死の軍団に興味はないか? Okay, so a perfectly undying military group. Do you have no interest in it? As for interest, does it not exist in an army of perfect undying? 食らいついた! So this must mean like he ate it. He took the bait. 食らい. Yeah. 食らいつく is to bite at, to nibble. Played him like a fiddle. To get one's teeth into. Now, here's a good example of, like, I would never get this if someone had just said this. I would hear kurai and I would think dark. I would think like darkness. And suita I would might think of as like to be attached, tsuku. But I'd be like, attaching darkness? What? No. Kurai tsuku is to bite at, snap at. Played him like a fiddle. Okay, transition, and we're going back to where Mei-chan and Marco are. And remember, right, they've got the book, they've got Scar's older brother's book, and they're going to combine their knowledge of Renkinjutsu and Rentanjutsu to try to decipher it. Rentanjutsushi no iu ryumyaku to yara ga いまいちよくわからないのだが. Okay. So, Ryumyaku is like Dragon Pulse. And we've heard reference to it before. It's something that Rentanjutsu describes. So, this is Marco saying, like, not understanding this so-called Dragon's Pulse in Rentanjutsu. Toyara is like, and whatever. Yeah, uncertainty. And Imaichi really here means not very good. Like I don't have a very good understanding. Not a very good understanding of this Dragon Pulse thing that you call in Rentanjutsu. ですね。Well, let's see. まず、地球そのものの気がありまして、So first, the Earth itself, it's the energy. It's the energy or spirit of the Earth itself that it has. 地球の気, the Earth's chi or energy or spirit? 簡単に言うと、山の頂から噴出した後、地下へ入り土地を潤してゆく力です。潤す to moisten, to wet, or to profit, enrich, or benefit. Okay. This is also an N1 level grade 8 kanji. Okay, like to say it simply, if I say it simply, receiving from the mountains, funshutsu, spewing. Oh, okay, so like okay. She's saying, to say it simply, it's a power that enriches the earth, like entering the earth from below or after like spewing out of receiving from the mountains. Something like that. 簡単に言うと、山の頂からした後. Yeah, so like after spewing out from a mountain's receiving. That's a bit weird. Yama no itaraki kara? Oh, mountaintop. Itaraki. It's not receiving. Ugh. Okay. So spewing out from the mountaintop or like entering from below of the earth, it's that sort of a power that is like enriching. Okay. Just for reference, the English said like a life force. Let's see anything about life force. Like a life force, the energy maintains harmony in the world. Okay. This is a good example where the English translation decided to stay well away from what the Japanese was doing. But this is in essence, right? You're talking about energy, a strength erupting from the tops of mountains and entering in from the earth below. That sounds like energy and harmony, maybe. Okay, fine. 大地の中を流れる力の川とでも言いましょうか? Like, shall we call it? Shall we call it sort of a river of strength that flows maybe inside the earth, daichi, inside the ground or the vast land. nagareru. So, right, she's talking about, again, the pulse. その力の流れや入り口出口を理解して使うと So the power of that flow, entrances and exits, understanding can use. So like, oh yeah, so this is toll as in conditional. So if you use understanding of exits and entrances, of the flowing of that power, bashi, so she's demonstrating here. Nagare ni notte, you can ride the flow. Riding the flow, hanareta basho e no rensei ga kano ni narimasu. Riding that flow and separating going to the separating place, the transmutation becomes possible. Oh, so riding a flow and then in a separated place, meaning a distant place. Transmuting becomes possible. So that was one thing they noted, was her ability to transmute at a distance. And so she's explaining how this idea of the dragon pulse works, and she's creating Pari, a cute little panda. これは万物に応用できる力なんですよ. Okay. As for this thing, banbutsu, all things, all of creation, oyo, application. Okay, so it's a strength. As for that thing, it's a strength that can be applied to all of creation. All right. 面白いな. Like, huh, that's interesting. 万物ということは, so as for talking about all of creation, その流れは人体にもあるのかい? Okay. Talking about all of creation, as for that flow, like also to the physical body, does it exist? Hai, yes. わかりやすい例は例えば, so for example, an easy to understand example. They're using wakari, they're using this kanji instead of the other one. Which is interesting. Koko, so this place. Busu? Age! Or oge! Ida da da da. Ow, 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 ima. Like just now. Ima, koshi o oshita dake de. So just pushing my lower back. Ashi no tsumasaki made. Like until the leg tsumasaki. Tiptoes. Okay, like to the tiptoes of my legs or my feet. Dengeki mitai no hashita. Something like an electric attack ran. Okay, so when you just pushed my lower back, something like an electric attack ran up until the tips of my toes. Marco-san, koshi o daiji ni ne. Chikara no nagare ga yodondemasu yo. Yodon. To stagnate. So, Mr. Marco, like, take care of your back, or like your back is an important thing. Energy flow is stagnant. Sasu, she's pats him on the back. まあ、この年になるとね、あちこちガタがね。So, well, you know, as for like this age, when you become this age, you know, like everything kind of cracks or clatters. Gata, I think, is like clattering or rattling. Yeah. Things here and there rattle. Isha no fu something say. A doctor's fu something. The English says like doctor is careless about his own body. Okay. ちなみに首筋を押すと So she's not giving up here. So like, by the way, like this, if push this neck muscle or this neck sinew, a suji. Suji, I think, is just sinew or muscle. Yeah. If you push this, push this neck muscle or thing, zubus. His eyes are doing something. Mega, mega. My eyes. Ah, ita da 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 da. Awa wa 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 wa. なんで押されたのは首なのに目に衝撃が来るんだ。Shogeki is like an assault or an attack, I think. A shock. So why with, as for being pushed, even if it's the neck, is there a shock on the, does a shock or attack come on the eyes? なるほど。Now I see. これが遠隔連性の理屈か? So this thing is enkaku rensei. Enkaku is probably like remote or distant. Yeah, distant, remote. And rikutsu, theory. Okay. So I see now, this is the theory of the distant transmogrification or transmuting. アメステリスの錬金術は龍脈を使わないのですね。So Amestrian alchemy, as for it, it's not using the dragon's pulse. Ne, isn't that right? Ah, that's right. 地殻運動のエネルギーを使ってる. So that's right. It uses energy of 地殻運動, something earth movement. 地殻. Oh, really? Movement of the earth's crust. Huh. Chikaku. What is this kanji? A grade 8 N1 kanji, of course. This is probably something you learn in geology. Husk or nutshell. Chikaku. All right. Oh, yeah, it's the Joyo. It's, oops. It's this thing in red. This is the grade. This is the grade that a Japanese student will learn the kanji. Like this is a grade 5, but N2. Z kanji will also, you can see with Z kanji, yeah, that's the problem, right? I mean, if you think it's a pretty common problem, which is the by the 8th or ninth grade, Japanese students have learned the Joyo kanji. But for English people, or for non-natives, it's longer. Okay. So Chikaku, Earth's crust. Oh, here we go. We get a nice little drawing of this. 地震とか火山とかで放出される地中のエネルギーがあるだろう。Okay, so earthquakes, or with earthquakes and volcanoes, 放出, release or emission, emissions are done, or release is done, like, of energy inside the earth, right? 地殻変動によって生じるその莫大なエネルギーを使うのがこの国の錬金術だ。Okay, so 地殻, this is Earth's crust. 変動, changing movement. 変動, fluctuation. And shojiru, to produce or resulting from. Okay. And bakudai, we'll get there. Enormous or vast. So using that vast energy or enormous energy arising from the fluctuations of the Earth's crust, that is this country's Renkin Jutsu, this country's alchemy. See how much more we have to go here. Oh, okay. Well, we can finish off the chapter. Sweet. There's like just a few more pages. That's unexpected. Okay. 驚くべきことにそれを利用する基本的定式は約350年以上前に確立してるんだよね。Okay, so like being a surprising thing. Being a surprising thing, that as for understanding that, meaning all that stuff with the tectonic plates and the Earth's crust, a fundamental holte shiki. Holte shiki equation. Fundamental equation. As for the fundamental equations for understanding that thing, it's a surprising, but approximately 350 or more years before were understood or confirmed. Kakuritsu. Established. Okay. Okay, so the fundamental equations that established Renkinjutsu were created like more than 350 years ago. Interesting that he says Sango Zero. It's not Sanbyaku Goju or whatever. 伝説では東の賢者がその方程式を与えてくれたとなっているけど、So as for in the legend, the sage of the east, those equations did the favor of bestowing, like that's what it's become, but that's what the legend has become. But あくまで伝説だな. It's a persistent legend or a stubborn legend. でも違うんですよ. But it's different, you know? はこの国に入ってから感じてた違和感. Oh, this is the like creepy feeling. So this country, when entered, like when I entered this country or came into this country, feeling an iwakan, which again is like an unsettling feeling or something. Yeah, feeling out of place or an uncomfortable feeling. 先日、セントラル地下ではっきりしたんですけど. Okay, and the other day, in the Central Underground, はっきり, clearly, it became clear and distinct the other day in the Central Underground. 足元を流れるこの力は地殻運動のエネルギーというより. Okay, so as for this strength flowing underneath the flowing ashimoto, like footsteps, or underfoot, at one's feet. So at one's feet, flowing power, the Earth's crust movement energy saying that, more than that, たくさんの人がうごめている感じ. It's the feeling of many people wriggling or squirming, crawling like worms. Well, that's creepy. Notice also this kanji. This kanji, the on the bottom, those two characters are insects. And what's on the top? Is this spring? But it means wriggle. What I really like about that, right? It's this idea that like underneath the Earth's crust is like things wriggling and squirming. This gets completely lost in the English translation, which is kind of sad. The English translation says like it's from the movement of lots and lots of people. You lose the creepy crawly quality of whatever this word is. Okay, so she's just pointed out something very important, which is it may not be what they think it is. So that's cool. All right, and speaking of, we're going somewhere else. What do we got here? Come on. Sanmo Su Theodore Okay, these are names. Donatos, Donatos, Reinmeier, Reinmeier, Posuru, Johnny. I don't recognize any of the names. Koran, Tony, Wirado, Ripuri. This is like Ripley. These are all just names. Mehitiruto. But notice they're also like Mehitiruto sounds like Egyptian. So they're like lots of different names. Meyo. Sumanai. Sorry, or it's not done. Tsukawasate morao yo. Suman, like, will receive using. Yeah, or will allow the receipt of using, something like that. Oh boy, dosu. Goba. Bota bota, drip drip, bota. Zuru, zuru zuru zuru, zuru zuru. Okay. And that is the end of the chapter. We get a sketch here of General Armstrong. This is presumably Hohenheim, because he's got a bag and a map. Presumably Hohenheim. And he just listed off a bunch of names and basically said, sorry, but like I will, like I have to use you, or I will receive using, and stuff that looks like sage stone is dripping out of him. Mysterious. Okay, that is the end of the chapter. The next chapter is going to start here in a flashback with apparently at the Elric house. So that'll be a good stopping point. We'll pick up with that tomorrow.